Hello again. This is part 4 of my big shelter roundup of all my reviews of the shelters I use for ultralight backpacking. And this is my second tent. This is the Big Agnes Fly Creek Ultralight 1. And I have it set up here in my backyard. No day hikes this time. And actually, it had been a while since I'd taken this out, and I had forgotten how much more headspace actually my other tent, the Six Moon Designs Skyscape X has. As you can see here, it's a pretty good amount of headroom, though my head does touch, I'm stretching though, and my head does touch the top. However, what it lacks a little bit in headroom, it makes up in interior space. I actually have I've slept 2 people in this tent before. It's a tight squeeze, sure, but yeah, you can do it if you're very comfortable with the person you are sleeping next to. So okay, where to begin? I've got to, of course, mention how long it took me to set up. I find this tent easier to set up than my other tent, and actually tents in general. I've owned a fair amount of tents over the years, and this took me 7 minutes and 30 seconds, and that actually includes tensioning of the guy lines and stuff to get a pretty good pitch. I find it's easier to get a tighter pitch with this shelter than with or this tent than my other tent. So yeah, so I've already talked about headspace, and if you haven't seen my other reviews, real quick, and if you'll have to, I apologize to those of you, my regular readers who've already seen the other reviews. You've heard a lot of the same information, my apologies, but there's new people who maybe just want to, check out this one particular shelter or the others. I'm 6 foot, 183 centimeters. That's my size, so you can kind of put this in context. So let me turn the camera around and we'll get a look at the interior space a little more. And I apologize that the tent is a bit messy. Okay, so I'm sitting up here, and before I lay down, let's just get a look at the interior space at the back. You'll notice the netting there I find to be a really good design, because in this shelter my feet will rub slightly on the end as well. However, and of course you have to picture with a sleeping mat and sleeping bag, it's going to be a bit bunched up there, much like my other tent. However, because this is a double wall tent, it doesn't bother me as much because there's a vent there, so there's not as much or any really condensation there in the end. So let me lie down, and then we'll take a look here at the other details. Okay, so I'm lying down now where my head is. I still got a few centimeters or so away from the head end, and as you can see, if I put my toes all the way up, I'm not touching the tent. If I stretch a little bit, now I'm touching the netting, right? So if you imagine with a sleeping pad and sleeping bag, it's going to be a little bunched up here, but I'm guessing that's why they put that net there, to compensate for that. But yeah, width though, if you see here, I have the sides guide out to the rainfly, but however, if you were to undo both sides of the inner tent, you'd have a little more space. But even so, if I scoot over, you can see here, I guess I should turn the camera on again, bear with me. Here I am. You can see here, you could put, I have, like I said before, squeeze somebody else in here, right in here. So if I cram myself to one side, it's a tight situation, but that's a nice, thing to have whenever you're on your own. It gives you way more space to manage gear, and also the vestibule. If you see, the vestibule here is slightly bigger, I find, than and more enclosed than my other tent. So you can see here, my shoes are there, but you could fit, you know, the pack and some wet clothing perhaps there. But anyway, as I was saying, like, it's nice to have extra space just to be able to operate whenever you're inflating. Maybe you have a sleeping pad you want to inflate. Maybe you want to kind of organize, get some of your gear, get some snacks or whatever. This space is nice. I'll sit up again, and you can see now I'm sitting up, you know, facing the other way, so I can have like lots of different, I can, you know, kind of spread out my gear a little bit more. But let's go to the outside so we can take a look at the tent from the outside. And as before, I'm going to be opening up the 2 doors, so give me a little time. This, the zippers and the flies, I find it's easier to also zip. I think I could probably do it with one hand. Let's find out. There we go. I got a nice tight pitch. Yeah. And there's a little pocket here. I find this pocket to be a little more pragmatic as well than side pockets on the side of the internet, but that's a little detail. Okay, and the other, here we go. For the rain fly, now I'll put the camera down, get my shoes on, and we'll check out the outside in a moment. Thanks for the patience. Again, I don't have the computer capabilities to edit, so it's gonna have to be one take. So alright, here's the outside of the tent. I have it set up right now with 6 stakes. This is kind of the bare minimum. I have 2 in the back. I'll just show you here. There's 2 in the back for both the fly and the internet. On the sides there, I have the, you know, the 2 guidelines on each side are actually on the same stake. They're both for the rain fly to get it nice and tight. And underneath, as I said, the interior has this little line here that you can clip. It clips to the rain fly, but you can undo that and extend a little bit more kind of flat space on the inside. All right. I guess that's about it. One thing I will say that I prefer with other entrances for tents is a side entrance. When it's pouring down rain, I find it's easier to have a side entrance than this here, the front entrance. But again, that's not that big of a deal. You can, back to the stakes, I actually do not have the corners staked out. To keep it steady, I guess you could, you know, stake out everything. And I do take the stakes just in case I want to do that, to have it super secure. But most of the time, this is it. It's just 2 on the sides, or 2 in the front, 2 on the sides, 2 in the back, and that's all you need. Okay. This is a bit of a longer review. Perhaps this is because this is my oldest ultralight shelter that I've owned. I've owned this since, got this for as a Christmas gift in 2010. But yeah, I hope you found this helpful or enjoyed it. If you want to know all the specifications, the weights, the comparison to my other 3 ultralight shelters, check out, as always, the description below to a link to my blog. Thanks for watching. Take care.